Joe Rizzo here with the coach, Jeremy Jacobus, in Laurel, Maryland, as you can see right above us.
It's a long ride.
A long ride, but your players on the 19U team seem to have brought their legs with them in the car this time. There was no issue with that in this game.
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, any of you viewers watching this interview right now can tell the look on my face is completely different than it was last weekend. Girls came ready to play today. They had their fire. They finished a great practice on Thursday with possession drills at the end of practice there and some small game stuff. And I really had a lot of confidence in the girls, and I think they did too today. And I think they realized, the first thing I said when I came into the locker room after the game was, hey, how do you guys feel about that game? And you could just see they felt really good. That's what a hockey game's supposed to look like.
So you fall 2-1. You're this close so many times where you could just use, you played penalty-free hockey. You got 2 power plays. You got 1 power play with 5:45 left in the game that you're losing 2-1. You're not able to get really sustained possession into scoring chances. And then you do get a little bit of that with the goalie pulled at the end. So you really had some chances at the end.
Yeah, and I think that second power play we got, which might have been in the third period, 6 minutes left or something like that. I did see some really good possession in there for a little bit, and we got kicked out of the zone a couple of times, but making those passes on the sideboards down low, on the half wall, and back up to D and back down allows us to put some movement on the backside. And I got to tell you, just like you said, we were really close today, Joe Rizzo. I'm extremely fired up. My girls played really hard today.
You had one play that was so indicative, I think, of the girls coming together, and that was Lily Rowe Smith getting the cleanest breakaway I have ever seen. Now listen, of all the players on the ice, to be fair to all of you, have some rocket fast players who need this much space to make a breakaway. Mm-hmm. She makes a perfect fundamental play, picks off a pass between she was over the red line before anybody was even out of the zone. Mm-hmm. 9 players. She could have skated in backwards. She's progressed very, very quickly. I know you don't like to usually talk about individual players, but I felt like she was somebody who really stood out in terms of her progression today.
I think that, I don't know if you have notes or you have listening into our locker room, but that was one of the things that we addressed, was all the skating that we do in practice and all the things and how they're paying off and how we called out that same play that you just did for Lily. Lily's making great giant strides of improvement, and that wasn't the only play that she made today. So the practices, the girls are coming together, we're starting to do things differently, and I've laid out a few times that by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, we're going to be a pretty hard team to play against.
When you go back and look at the video of this, not this, but the game, you're going to see PJ's goal. I have to call it PJ now.
Okay.
By the way, your daughter is called PJ, so when I say that, that's who I'm talking about.
Okay.
You are going to see her goal, and what you're going to see leading up to her goal, which I don't know if you could see from her vantage point, was a drill that you practice work exactly the way the drill is supposed to work. When she's skating the puck out, she exchanges it with Riz, and Riz just leaves it right there for her. I wish that I had the film of practice the other night, that the way you practice the drill was the way that they put it out exactly on the ice, and then she beats the buzzer.
Yeah, and you know what? At that play, I'm sure that goal really stung for the other team too. I know that coach probably hated to have that goal go in the final seconds of a period, as with any coach. But I just think that play in particular goes back to the confidence that we gain at practice when we're doing that stuff right. We before we came out on the ice for practice on Thursday, we said, girls, we want to up your concentration level and your focus level. I know that they're all capable of making those passes and those plays, but for some reason, whether one girl's tired or somebody's distracted or whatever, it doesn't happen. But today, focus was there, and we also left the practice on Thursday extremely focused.
I'm going to take you a little aside, something that we haven't really done and we don't really talk about. You're coaching your daughter, but there's a moment like that. That's literally the goal of the year. They're going to be hard pressed on this team to find a better goal with a more exciting setup right at the buzzer and everything else. So are you able to take a little step back for a second and appreciate that? I'm going to tell you, your daughter's a great player, but you get to watch it firsthand. So are you ever able to step a little bit out of coach shoes and into dad's shoes and just smile and appreciate what you're seeing out there?
You know, a really good coach once told me, and it was a coach that got me started with this. I'll make a shout out to Don Tweedy. He got me started in coaching, and the one thing he told me in the beginning was, don't watch your daughter play hockey when you're coaching. You're coaching a team, and they're all relying on you to get that coaching. And I coach with the same fire that I expect the girls to bring to a hockey game. And for me to see my daughter in a moment like that where they're teammates, it just goes back to all the hard work that she puts in to get to that point. But we also talk about playmakers. In that case there, Peyton puts a good shot on goal to score, but the pass that comes from Riz is the pass that makes that possible to happen. So we feel good about those goals and all of that kind of stuff there, but we feel really good about the assists, because the things that need to happen to make that play, the head up, the poise with the puck, it's all there. And I'll just go and throw it back onto the shoulders of all the players on the ice. They all had good fire tonight, good effort, playing together, poised with the puck, and understood situational hockey today. We didn't throw a lot of icing at them today. As a matter of fact, the other team iced the puck today because we were playing hard on our forecheck in their zone. So I just want the girls to come back and have a good effort for tomorrow. And I think that that's going to happen.
One thing to wrap it up, you switched Amanda and Kirsty back. So Kirsty was on D. Amanda was centering one of the forward lines. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think I saw that necessarily at practice the other night. Mm-hmm. But anything that goes into the switch, and is that, you feeling like you're going to stay that way?
There was two things that went into the switch. One was that we wanted a little bit of physicality up front. I know Amanda came fired up today, so I wanted to throw her up front. And Kirsten had a really good practice on Thursday, and I saw some things that I thought she was playing more defensive role. And we made this, what coaches and I talked about it before the game, we made the switch before the game started because we didn't want to get anybody out of kilter. But as soon as we were 2 shifts in, and we had already known that we had made the right decision. So both of those players that you mentioned played very hard for us. They had very good games.
Yeah, I thought also a lot of the things that buttressed what you were doing were starting in the back end, where like even Lily's play, the passing lane for the player to go down low was blocked by 2 of your players, and then she stepped in between the D to D pass. Mm-hmm. So if that lane is not blocked, she's never looking to go D to D, right? I mean, and there was a lot of that was going on all the way up and down the ice. Izzy Camarada this close to having a breakaway. She just needed the puck to bounce on its other end instead of on the flat side. Otherwise, she's getting breakaways all over the place. Mm-hmm. And you head to Virginia, and hopefully we do this again, and you have a W.
I couldn't find a girl out there that wasn't playing hard today. I really couldn't. I mean, we made some really good plays with the puck, and they played hard, and that's the result. It's a 2-1 hockey game. I told the girls in the third period, look up at the scoreboard. It says 2-1. Every hockey game should be a 1-goal game. I mean, I think that, like I said, they felt it too. And I was just doing this interview with you over here, Joe Rizzo, and I can't help but notice straight outside this camera view is Georgie Tillinghast walking back with her dad there. And before they get to the car, her dad grabs the stick and shows her something. And he must have saw something in the game that could make her better for whatever reason. I can't see it from this distance, but it's the commitment from the parents, from the coaches to the players to the parents, and parents getting everybody down here in this long trip. It's one huge family, and he's showing her right now. I don't know if you want to just turn that camera for a second. Maybe you don't. They're doing their thing, but I will tell you this. It goes back to commitment, and I love the commitment of the families, the players, and the coaches, and that's why this is going to be a really good season for us.
Okay, that's the coach, Jeremy Jacobus. I'm Joe Rizzo. Thanks for watching New Jersey Rockets Girls Hockey.